Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about a boundary that often is overlooked. This is an emotional boundary. Watch this video. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, I'm super excited because I just finished editing and filming my latest course called Boundaries Bootcamp. It is going to be released May 1st, 2022. So if you're watching this video later, you can sign up. It's open for enrollment May 1st. I'm so excited, which is actually this coming Sunday. And as I build these courses, by the way, I kind of do it as I go along. Like it creates itself, I guess I would say, as it goes along. And when I'm done, I'll then watch it as if I'm the student. And it's so exciting for me to see it all come together almost on its own. It's just a bunch of wisdom and things that come into me and knowledge I have from life and things. And it's just, wow, it becomes a whole different message than I ever thought it would be. And so one of the things that came from this I wanted to share with all of you is this need for emotional boundaries, especially if you're a highly sensitive person and you're watching this. I want to go over some of what I designed in this course because we need to know this, and we need to know this now. We need to start to understand our, let's say, rights about our emotional boundaries, because so often when we're born into a family that's emotionally immature, all of our emotional boundaries are usually messed with a little bit. And actually there's a section in my course called Your Boundaries Were Messed with You. Your boundaries were messed with and they need you. So I want to read a couple of things that I wrote down for the people that take this course and share it with you and give you some tools on how to do this right now. So allowing yourself to feel your feelings, you know that is my main thing. You got to get real about how you feel so you can heal. But allowing yourself to feel what you feel actually looks like this. Not what I think I should feel, right? But what I actually feel is this, and it's okay to say it. It's okay for it to be what it is. Think about how many times you filter what you actually feel when you're sharing that with someone. What I found is super awesome because it creates this authentic communication is saying, you know what? I actually feel this about that. People laugh at me because oftentimes I'll just be very blunt with things and people, let's give an example. If someone said to me, I decided I'm going to wear this outfit today because it makes me look blah, blah, blah. What do you think? I will give my honest opinion. It happened the other night. And I was like, no, definitely not. The blue looks better. Now, most people will be like, what? He's wearing white. Tell him it looks great. I'm like, no, definitely not. The blue's better. You should definitely wear the blue. It brings out your eyes. You got to be real about what you feel. And you've got to actually let yourself be honest about those feelings. Even if someone else may not like it, it's you being true to you. It's not rude. It's just being honest. The more honest we become, right, with what we think, feel, want, whatever, the more connected to self we are, the more autonomous we become, the more sovereign we become, the more integrated and whole and confident we become because we're just being who we are. How many people come to me and say, Candace, I just want to be who I am. How do I do that? Emotional boundaries, right? The second thing I wanted to mention, your ability to separate what you feel from what someone else is feeling. If you were born into a family where there was an enmeshing parent, where they didn't like you to feel different than them, I have so many videos on this in the course. You're going to start to feel like, oh, I can't have my emotional intimacy. I can't have my emotion if it's not the same as theirs. Or you start to think that what they feel is yours, which goes into an over responsibility, which I'm going to also talk about. But before that, I wanted to mention, that is my next point, recognizing when you're having over responsibility for what someone else feels. Oftentimes this looks like, I don't want to say that because they might get hurt. Well, it doesn't matter. If they get hurt because of something that you're feeling, they also have the option to have a boundary around it and say, you know what? I'm not comfortable with that subject. You know what? That doesn't really feel good for me. Let's move on. When both people in a, let's say, relationship have really strong emotional boundaries, there will be an emotional availability in the relationship that may not have been if there wasn't that emotional boundary. Think about that. But when we take over responsibility for how other people feel, an example of why this happens is if you're in a family and your mother's like, you know, because of what you're doing, I feel this way, right? I feel this way because of you. Well, an emotionally mature parent would say, I feel this way. It's not your fault, but what you did just elicited this feeling in me. So I'm going to deal with that, right? But when we don't have an emotionally mature parent, we grow to become emotionally over responsible for what everybody else feels. Not good. Then what it does is it makes us neglect what we feel. So that emotional boundary is broken. We keep breaking our own emotional boundary. The next thing I wanted to say is, oof, this goes along the same lines of an enmeshing parent. Emotional privacy. How many of you found out that your mom read your diary? How many of you have been asked too many questions about your private life, your intimate life? It's okay to have emotional intimacy with yourself. How many of you have shared something before you're ready to share and then you have like an overshare hangover? Because you're like, I wasn't ready to share that. Oh my gosh, I just wanted that for myself for a minute until I processed it. Emotional boundary. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, these two were the biggest ones that I was talking about in this course. So when you're in a new relationship, you have the emotional boundary to decide what type of space you need in that relationship and what you're ready for. Do you know how many women specifically come to me and say, well, I really, really like him. What if he wants to kiss me on the second date and I'm not ready? I have to do it anyway, right? And I'm like, what in the world? No way. But so often in this society, we're taught as women, we have to cater to what the man wants and vice versa, by the way. But this is just what I hear a lot. Because if I don't, then he won't like me. And then, you know, it's my fault if he leaves me. No, it's not your fault. If someone is not okay with what you need for you, they're not okay for you. Someone is not right for you if you're doing what's right for you and they don't like it. If I do what's right for me and you don't like it, you must not be right for me. Remember that, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, remember this. We need to stop breaking our own emotional boundaries just to stay connected to others, just to have a shared reality. We can have our own reality and have it be respected with our boundaries. The last thing I wanted to mention is your ability to self-regulate. Wow. So often when we're children and we're not given an emotional mirror and we're not taught how to walk through an emotional process, we suffer a lot and we struggle with managing our emotions, with regulating our emotions because we become emotionally overwhelmed. That emotional overwhelm is not cute. You know what I mean? I have a workbook that I published many years ago called Spiritual Fitness. It will walk you through processes of how to emotionally manage, right? Manage your emotions. This is really important for us to manage our emotions and keep our emotional boundaries because what it does is it sinks us into our own integrity, our emotional autonomy, our sovereignty, and it helps us own our power and know how to make decisions and know how to know what we want and what we feel because we are reclaiming that boundary inside that says this is how to align with you. This is how to have actions that are in alignment with what your emotions are so that you feel that things make sense. So often people come to me and they're totally emotionally confused because they've just given away their emotional boundaries and didn't even know it. So you guys, I hope you will share this video with at least one person. I hope you will comment below if you have any questions or comments about boundaries. I hope you will check out my Boundaries Bootcamp course coming to you soon. It is unlike most of my courses because what this is, it's an evergreen course. It's on demand. You can do it whenever you want. And the reason I did it that way is because this is basically a glossary of boundaries. You can pick and choose which one. You don't have to go in order. If you're feeling this, look at the inner boundary section, outer boundaries, energetic boundaries, emotional, spiritual boundaries. It is so important to have all of these boundaries, be aware of them and have them intact and how to get back to them when you break them accidentally and how to not allow others to break them. It's so important. I can't tell you. When I started owning my boundaries and working them, it was a game changer because your life starts to feel safe within you and comfortable for you because you have this whole new system of how to approach life and how to be in you. So I hope you'll check that out. I hope you guys will find me on social media if you haven't already because I love to chat with you. I love building this community. It's one of my favorite things to do. So check out the links below and I'll see you guys soon.